There are many ways you can exercise to improve strength and conditioning. So in this video, we will take a look at the options and provide you with the advantages and disadvantages of each type. Hi everyone, and welcome to Exercise for Health and resistance training for muscle and bone strength, as well as general fitness and conditioning, is just as important as cardiovascular exercise for your overall health. But there are so many options, so which do you choose? Well, to answer this, I've put the methods of resistance training into 5 categories. Fixed selectorized resistance machines, cable machines, free weights, calisthenics or using your body weight, and resistance bands. Let's take the fixed resistance machines first. If you are or have been a member of a gym, then it's likely you will have seen many variations of these, such as the leg press, chest press, seated row, or leg curl. They are very user-friendly once you've been shown how to set them up, and you can select a weight or resistance before starting, and it's also quick and easy to adjust if necessary. Some more modern machines will even select the weight for you if you have a special digital key with your training program on it, and others use a hydraulic pressure against your movement rather than a selected weight. So the harder you push, the more resistance you will feel. When delivering a gym induction with a newbie member that was referred to me by their doctor, resistance machines would be my first choice for strength exercises because they are the safest method of resistance training and are great for beginners or regular users alike. Once you've set up the machine with any adjustable positions such as the seat and handles, and you've selected the appropriate weight, which can be very light for deconditioned people, then the machine restricts your movement to one specific path, making it easier for most people to exercise the muscle group effectively and correctly, although theoretically you could still perform the exercise with poor technique. The amount of adjustability and ergonomic seat will mean a comfortable position can be found for most people before performing the exercise, with very short or very tall people being the exceptions. In addition, most modern gym resistance machines will include a cam to ensure that the movement has a constant resistance throughout, rather than a varied feeling that you get with free weights or resistance bands. Resistance machines can also be ideal for older adults or those with neurological impairments, as it can bring added stability to the exercise, allowing for a greater focus on the movement that they might normally struggle with other types of exercises. It's also easier to make small progressions, as the weight stacks on the machines usually go up in small increments. The Smith machine would also be considered as a fixed resistance machine, even though it looks more like a barbell, because the movement is restricted to one plane. And plate-loaded machines again fall into this category. Even though some have dual-axis technology making it resemble a free weight, it's still restricting you to one specific path of movement. The drawback to the machines is that they take up a lot of space, they are very expensive, and can only be used for one exercise, meaning you can't exercise your legs on a chest press machine. Well, I suppose you could, but definitely not recommended. Therefore, it's highly unlikely you will have any at home, so you would have to be a member of a gym to access them. Home multi-gyms can be similar, but will only offer a few exercise options. Furthermore, some may feel the movement with a machine is too restrictive, so it's less likely to be the choice of a veteran gym goer. Next, we will take a look at the cable machines. These machines can offer some extra versatility compared to the fixed resistance machines, in the sense that one machine can be used for a wide number of exercises. In addition, they also allow for a better freedom of movement, so could be considered as a stepping stone towards more advanced free weight exercises. They still offer the ability to make small adjustments to the weight, making it easier and more motivational to track your progress. And with a large number of attachments you can clip onto the cable, you can begin to think that one machine can do it all. Although most exercises performed will be done in a standing position, you could use a bench to offer additional support. However, the benefit of doing the exercise standing is that you will be exercising many other stabilizing muscles around the joints in the body, more than what you would with a fixed resistance machine. Technogym is a well-known commercial brand of gym equipment, and they do a kinesis line, which is effectively a cable machine that offers much more freedom of movement and functional training. Other cable machines also use a dual pulley system, allowing for faster and more explosive movements, with the weight only moving at half the speed, which is great for athletes. I would also include a traditional lat pull-down machine in this category. even though it could be considered a fixed resistance machine. This is because the lat pull down has some flexibility in how it can be performed. It doesn't have to follow one strict path of movement as the bar is attached to a cable. This would also be the same for a cable seated row machine. However, all cable machines, like with the fixed resistance machines, will likely need a gym membership to access them, unless you have thousands to spend on one. And if you only have access to a single cable outlet, some exercises will only be performed one side at a time, meaning that if it's being used by someone else, you might have to wait a while for your turn. Let's now move on to free weights, which is what most people conjure up in their mind when you talk about strength exercises. There are so many options in this category, and the last 30 years has seen an explosion of free weight products in the fitness market. Yes, you have your traditional dumbbells and barbells that have been around for many years, but a trip to your local gym or browsing on Amazon and you can find so much more. Kettlebells, mace bells, Indian club bells, sledgehammers, sandbags, power bags, Bulgarian bags, medicine balls, wall balls, slam balls, tires, and even battle ropes or sleds would come into this category. This is what makes free weight training more fun, because you can be far more creative to come up with variations to use it. The term free weight effectively means the weight is not restricted to how your body moves it, so the complete opposite to the fixed resistance machines. This means that the nature of the exercises will further enhance core stability and joint stability, and the speed of the movement of the weight can be varied depending on your goal. Lots of free weight exercises can be an open kinetic chain movement, meaning that the limb, either the hand or foot, is moving to lift the weight while the body remains stationary, such as the bench press. There are other free weight exercises that are closed kinetic chain movements, where the hand or foot remains fixed and the body moves around it to lift the weight, such as a deadlift. The one major drawback to any of these free weights is that the resistance always acts straight down to the ground, as gravity is the force acting upon the weight, which therefore means the weight during the exercise should be lifted in the opposite direction, straight up perpendicular to the ground. There are some exceptions, like sliding the sled, but generally most exercises will need to put you in a position where the movement of the weight pushes or pulls it against gravity for the optimum input to the muscles. This also means that there will be parts of the movement that will fall harder than others, for example in a bicep curl during the lift, where it starts easy, then gets difficult, then gets easy again. But the movement with the free weight must be performed in a controlled way, as the weight is free to move in 3 dimensions. Essentially, this means that you have to have a basic understanding of what you're doing to get the most out of the exercise, otherwise some benefits can be lost, which makes it less suitable for beginners. In addition, free weights also pose the highest risk for injury. You only need to see footage on YouTube of people failing to lift certain weights and either passing out or severely injuring themselves. However, if you keep the weight more manageable and you're instructed correctly how to use it, then the benefits gained will be more than the fixed weights machines, so you just need to get the risk-reward balance right. Calisthenics is the next category, which basically means using your body weight as the resistance for the exercise. Examples include squats, push-ups, pull-ups, step-ups, lunges, and even the plank. The great thing with these exercises is that they can be done anywhere without the need for any additional equipment. They are also very functional, as they can mimic movements or positions that we can find ourselves in every day. I use a lot of these types of exercises in my workout videos because of the cardio effect you also gain from working such large muscle groups. The downside to calisthenics is that you can't quickly adjust the weight. Your body weight is your body weight, and although many people would like to be able to quickly swap it for something lighter, you may find an exercise either too hard, such as the pull-ups, or too easy, such as step-ups. So you need to find creative ways to adapt the exercise to change the intensity. One brilliant bit of kit that's been out for a number of years is the TRX suspension trainer. I've done a few workout videos on it, but essentially it allows you to exercise every muscle group in the body using your body weight, with the ability to change your position to make the exercise harder or easier. It means that most people using one will be able to perform a pull-up. For strength training at home, it's the one bit of kit that, although not cheap, I would recommend to everyone, because once you have it, you can take it anywhere with you, anchor it to something sturdy and exercise. If you want to learn more about the TRX, I'll leave a link in the description below to one so you can find out more. As your strength improves though, you may find that some bodyweight exercises become too easy for strength, and become more of an aerobic activity due to the high number of reps that can be performed. Therefore, you may need to add weights or resistance bands to make the exercise harder, or be clever in the way that you perform it to change the intensity. Finally, let's look at resistance bands, which come in lots of variations, including therapy bands, power bands, small looped bands, and rubber tubes with handles. These are fantastic aids for improving muscle strength and joint stability and come in various elastic properties. They are also cheap to buy, take up minimal space, so easily transportable, and can be used for a huge number of exercises for a complete full body workout, so really versatile. They are particularly good for exercising smaller muscle groups that would normally be too difficult with the other resistance training types, and they are generally used more in early stage injury rehabilitation as they can provide a light progressive resistance. Their other strength over calisthenics and free weights is that gravity is not required. The bands can be stretched in any direction with the movement. The disadvantages to resistance bands is the fact that the resistance isn't constant. The resistance increases the more you stretch it. So for most exercises, the movement will continuously get harder during the concentric contraction, reaching its peak at the end of the movement. In addition, as the band needs to be anchored at one point, although linear movements work well, circular movements can be awkward, so the range of movement may need to be restricted to get any benefit. You also need to pick the right strength of band for each exercise, because if it's too high for the muscle group being worked, it's difficult to do the movement, and if it's too low, there's an increased risk of snapping the band, which has happened to me once or twice, and it can hurt. So you will need to have a good selection of bands to be able to choose from. Like with the TRX, I'll leave a link in the description below to some so you can check them out after the video. To summarise then, which type do you pick? Well, your choice of resistance training will ultimately depend on a number of factors because they all have their advantages and disadvantages, as I'm showing here on the table. Are you someone who is just starting out, or are you a strength training guru? Are you a member of a commercial gym, or like the majority of my subscribers, do you only exercise at home? The equipment that is available to you will immediately dictate what type you choose, as will your existing health condition and your exercise goal. My personal take on it is if you have a gym membership, then you'll likely have access to all the options with the support or guidance of an exercise professional, which is the best position to be in. If you're someone that exercises at home and doesn't have the need or want to lift heavy weights, then a TRX suspension trainer for aided calisthenics, a set of resistance bands, and maybe a pair of light dumbbells should put you in a great position to be able to do most movements to improve your muscle strength and joint stability, with plenty of ways to vary and progress the exercises. I hope the information in this video gives you the inspiration to try out alternative types of strength exercises. If so, please give it a like by clicking the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing if you haven't already. You can also check out the description below for ways that you can help support this channel. But thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay active and keep moving to feel better.